It's time to address what everyone's been talking about lately, Forza Horizon 6, where it'll be based, and whether we can expect it to be coming to Japan. Now, I've made quite a few videos on Forza Horizon 6 over the past few months, some of them discussing where we can expect the game to be, some discussing different leaks we've seen from developers, forums, and more, and of course the top two likely contenders for maps right now appear to be Germany and Japan. Now, we'll never know with 100% certainty until later on when it probably gets announced, of course, but we can look at the information we have and make a very probable guess, just like what people did with Forza Horizon 5. But ultimately, Forza Horizon 5 being in Mexico was quite a surprise that took a lot of us by shock. Only people really knew about Mexico once it was a lot closer to the release date, as there are a few suspicious sort of trends that developers are starting to make different accounts in. For example, they made one in Spanish to be able to discuss the community, one of very few official accounts they had, and they've recently done the same with German. So it's pretty interesting, a little note there that does support it being in Germany, but this will specifically be talking about Japan. Now, in terms of Japan, there's a little bit of evidence that we've seen scattered over the past few years. Firstly, different map concepts have come out. Now, some of these maps were simply fan-made. Now, I'll put some images of these on the screen. Some of these were made by people on Reddit and were just an example of what they wanted to see. For example, a map with Tokyo, Mount Fuji, etc. Other ones are extremely intricate and are actually dug up in the game files. So there's a bit of a distinction to make between the couple of these. Some of them are very simple, other ones extremely distinct from the actual game files themselves. What does this mean for sure the game will be in Japan? Well, not entirely. It's very regular in development process that they go through a bunch of maps, make a bunch of concept maps, and see what they like best on what might be best for the actual community itself. We have seen quite a lot of JDM cars being loaded to the game files as well, which is very common because pretty much a lot of the cars you'll see in Horizon 6 will start to progressively be loaded into Horizon 5 game files, so they can prepare the physics scanning, and a lot of these require licensing objectives before the game is properly released. We see this, or we saw this frequently with Forza Horizon 4 and 5. Before Horizon 5 came out, there were over 100 cars leaked to the game files. Some of these were intended for Horizon 4, probably 10 or 15 in them, but out of the other 85, around 60 of those were later released in Horizon 5. So you often will prep a lot of these cars earlier or warm them into the new games, which what we're starting to see with Horizon 6. A key car, the example is one like the Maserati MC20, and there have been quite a lot on this list that have not even had that much coverage aside from the Maserati. Now, one thing that's also interesting is that Playground Games, being the developers for Horizon 5, have consistently been posting more and more employee or job requests on different sort of websites for these designers, for physical developers, etc. Now, one of them, for example, was of course a level designer, which we saw, and there are a few hints this was towards a Japanese map on the interest or the inside aspects of the job and its requirements, which is something interesting to note, as well as the fact that there was also a different one more recently as an environment artist, which would usually be the people who make the skyscrapers, the buildings, and of course the landscapes in these games. Now, this kind of part of the lifespan of Horizon 5, it's pretty interesting they'd still be looking for people like this, because generally in game development, this would indicate it's more early stage, making the horizon, making the buildings, but again, they could have a very good framework of the map and only want a few extra buildings to top it off correctly, and there could be numerous development positions in this exact spot. And just quickly, most of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel, so if you want to help us hit 150k and stay up to date with the best Forza glitches, content, news, and more, be sure to tap that button. It really helps out a lot. So it's not like it's entirely indicative that it might be early or late stage necessarily, but it's something interesting to note. Now, of course, there's also had various game covers over the years. One of these has been a very popular one as of late when people talk about Japan. Of course, the one with Mount Fuji in the background. One of them even says Xbox One console exclusive, so you already know that's a bit of an older one, because Horizon 6 will definitely not be a One exclusive. Obviously, there'll be Series S and X if it's not only new gen, which is also entirely possible. And there's even a chance that we will currently see with a PlayStation integration that maybe it'll even be for PlayStation off the initial release. Who knows, but it could be possible given the fact that Horizon 5 is about to be released on PlayStation over the next few weeks. So a few interesting things to note. In terms of release date, people are expecting it's going to be announced in June, July, and looking for a release date in October, November. That's always what the trend has been. If this doesn't happen, it'd pretty much only be because of GTA 6. So if this were to be the case, we could maybe expect them to break this usual trend, announce their game in January or February, then go for release in June, July, which could also be a very good time, arguably an even better time, given the fact that it aligns with the summer break for the US clientele or demographic, which is the biggest one that Forza has as an actual player base. So quite a few interesting things to note. In terms of cars, we can already know it will be a lot of JDM cars. We already know Tokyo would have some sort of relevance, and given all the leaks and what the things we've seen in the past, Mount Fuji would surely have to be in there somewhere, and it's going to be one of the best and most highly anticipated Forza games of all time. I mean, it's been almost 4 years in development so far, and it appears like with another extra 6 months on top of that, it could be even longer. So it's an insane period of time to develop this game. A lot of people are hyped up for this game, and I'm of course very excited what is to come as well. So comment down below what kind of features you guys want to see in Horizon 6, if you think it's been in Japan, Germany, or even somewhere else, and of course like and subscribe to stay tuned for further Forza content.